Folks, so here is the gold chart. Now today is a Wednesday and it's currently 4 p.m. GMT. So we're still in the US session at the moment. Now gold recently, I've got my key levels on gold, monthlies, weeklies, a few daily / 4-hour levels on there. And what we've had recently on gold is a rejection from the monthly resistance 1370. So it's more or less a range around 1360s to 1375s around here. This is the weekly time frame. Now, daily, if you go down to the daily perspective, what I've actually seen here is 1, 2, 3, 4 daily candles spiking above and beyond 1368, 1369. But if I just zoom in, we can clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks there, and each individual daily candlestick we actually failed to close above 1366, 1367. We've pulled back to the downside around 500 pips. Yes, 500. Gold moves pretty fast. We've come up all the way to the monthly resistance zone once again. Now this is the importance of the highlighted areas, highlighted zones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. And if we look closely, we can see that each wick, individual wick, is actually lower than the previous. So these are mini little lower highs, which we'll get to in a moment. Now, gold today, as you can see, we've come all the way up to the highs of 1357. Now, don't get me wrong, the day hasn't ended yet. We always must wait until the daily candle has closed. However, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, now, due to the price action perspective of what I've just gone over on the daily time frame, so we have this area over here, we have this area over here, whereas we've rejected the monthly area of resistance and we've pulled back. Today, I was, with that being said, my overall viewpoint and bias on gold is bearish, and we're looking for a potential downside reversal. So what I'm looking for is any kind of excuse more or less to get in short, because I wouldn't be going long on this pair, on this metal, sorry, unless we actually broke firmly above the monthly resistance. So very, very simple, very, very straightforward. In terms of downside targets for gold, I would be aiming for the daily area across here, anywhere between 1300s, just this whole zone, because we can see we have a little bit of support across here as well. So anywhere around 1308, 1310, 1300, so more or less 100 pip block down here. Now what I've spotted, this is the 4-hour time frame, is a Fibonacci move. So let me just pull up my Fibonacci. I've got the right one up as standard. Okay, so my fib, 1 second guys. So what I've done is I've took my fib from the high point down to the low point. Okay, from A down to B. Now what's actually happened here, and I've explained this in the fib section, is that we've breached the 61.8/62 and we've gone all the way up to near enough 78.6/79. So entry on this would simply be, now if you were on your toes with this one, maybe on a 2-hour time frame, we can clearly see we have just had a huge bearish engulfing candle close 9 minutes ago. So we've got 1 hour 51 minutes left on this bar. My Fibonacci targets are in fact here, 1320 and 1308. So let me just highlight that. So as I said, 75 to 80% chance our first fib will always be achieved. So we have the A, B, C retracement, and I would take this as a 61/62% retracement zone because we've breached it and we've been ripped all the way back down. The entry would have been after this candlestick. We can see the Maribozu feature there as well. So there was a lot of momentum dragging gold back to the downside. Risk reward on this. So if we went short now, sell our risk reward 15 to 30 pips above the top. So 57s, it would be around 60. It's how gold works. So 1357 is the highs around here. Add 30 pips on is 1360, and our first target on gold would in fact be right here. So the risk reward is, let's say, a 1 to 1.5. So let's see how this one actually plays out. So confluences are, we've looked on a bigger time frame, we couldn't clear monthly resistance, we've scaled down, we have seen a Fibonacci move, and we've just, again, trial and error, took it from the peak down to the lows. And then we have spotted the bearish engulfing candlestick with the Mariposa on there as well. We've got a nice target. By all means, we could maybe even extend this for a 1 to 2 ratio. But yeah, first and foremost, we have a 1 to 1.5. So this is the before shot. Let's see how this plays out. We're back on gold. Excellent, excellent, excellent result. Now, this has taken nearly, just over a week, nearly 2 weeks, but we finally had our target achieved. I broke it down last time, and I did mention with gold we have to be quite careful, give a little bit of breathing room and so on. So I entered around 1344, and excuse my charts once again, I have updated them and just modified some of the key levels. My stop loss was 1360, which was nearly hit here and here, but again, we followed the rules. Okay, we followed the rules of 50 to 30 pips above, give it that breathing room. And my target was an area of support, and again, I have modified that support, but 1320, I found the next step one at 1315. So I'm still expecting gold to go down another 50 pips. We're currently at 1320. We made lows today of 1320.2. And I'm just calling this a trade, which I've now taken off. And it's a success. So 247 pips on this trade. And that's the aftershock. We took some time, we went into consolidation. However, we followed the overall picture, the overall trend. Last video, I've just showed you exactly why I entered the trade. And here it is. There we go, gold. Brilliant result, absolutely brilliant. So another win in the bag, 247 pips. And I'm still expecting it to go down further. So I hope you enjoyed that trade, guys. Patience is key.